Hi, I'm Dennis Stone, President of America Stonehenge, and I'm speaking to you from our visitor center. And behind me is a world map. On this world map we have many photographs of ancient sites that are located all over the globe. In this area here we have some of the sites that are located in the Northeast, in the greater New England area, including America Stonehenge. There's about 800 sites that we've located over the last several decades that have some similarities to our site. Large stone chambers with stone roofs, and they have a resemblance to some of the sites found in Western Europe. Right behind me there are about 50,000 megalithic sites, and these go back thousands of years, Stonehenge being the most famous. But there are other types of chambers that are located in Western Europe that have a really strong resemblance to our structures, the size, shape, and orientation. There are other megalithic sites that are found beyond Western Europe. They go into Russia, China, India, and in Korea, North and South Korea, there were at one time over 100,000 megalithic type sites. They are also located in South America. They're found in Ecuador. They're also found in French New Guinea. There's a site called Amazon Stonehenge, and it's a pretty amazing site. So 5 continents have these megalithic type sites, so they're not just located in Western Europe, but in the Northeast part of America, down in South America, they're found in Asia, Africa, and except for Antarctic and Australia, these sites are located almost everywhere. And one of the questions are these sites related to one another? Were there same people traveling the ocean, spreading these ideas? Or was it independent invention? Just coincidentally, they look similar, but built by different people that were never in contact. So there's 2 different arguments going on. But in the United States and part of Canada, we have these sites that go down through the mid-Atlantic states. As you move further west, you have these large earthen structures, and these structures are earthworks. Some of the biggest pyramids in the world are located in the United States, like Cahokia Mound State Park near St. Louis, Missouri, and it covers about 4,300 acres. These mounds go from the Great Lakes right down to Florida, and we visited many of these over the years, and they go out into almost out to the Great Plains of the United States. They're in Oklahoma, they're in Louisiana, they go right up into Wisconsin. And as you go further out west, you have other interesting type sites like the Indian medicine wheels are found in Canada, and like Bighorn medicine wheel, we visited that back in the 1990s. It's astronomically lined, and it's many, many centuries old. You get into the southwest, you have some of these cliff dwellings, you have different types of structures like the Casa Grande, which is a pretty neat site. It is astronomically aligned with site. One of the things is most of these sites seem to be aligned with the sun, moon, and stars, so they have an astronomical feature about them. And that's true of sites in Western Europe and other places in the world. Also on this map we have different lines. These lines here, they're actually routes of travel, we think. Some of these are theoretical, some happen. Such as the Viking, there's one where the Viking 1,000 years ago from Scandinavia to Iceland, to Greenland, and into Newfoundland, Canada, and probably into northeastern part of the United States. This route actually happened. There were a couple others like Sir Henry Sinclair, 1398, 100 years before Christopher Columbus. This is theoretical. Sir Henry Sinclair came out of Scotland with his fleet of ships and came into Nova Scotia and then possibly into New England, right into Massachusetts. And then we have Prince Madoc of Wales, and there's a legend that his father was a king. When his dad died, the brothers were fighting over the throne. Instead of getting involved with all of that, he took off with his fleet and he came across the Atlantic into the Gulf of Mexico and into Mobile Bay, Alabama, and then up towards Tennessee. There's actually a hill fort that looks very much like an 11th century Welsh fort. And then we have other routes like around Africa made by the Phoenicians. And the Phoenicians were some of the greatest sailors and navigators of the ancient world. They set up 50 trading cities out of the Middle East, where they came from, the Phoenician coast, right across the Mediterranean, over 1,500 miles to the Rock of Gibraltar, and then they went out into the Atlantic, and they went up into England, some people feel. They made it even into Scandinavia, and they also went around Africa for an Egyptian pharaoh about the 6th century BC named Necho. And it's thought that they actually may have made it across into South America. There are Phoenician writings found from South America all the way up into Maine, actually. And besides Phoenician writing that was actually found at America Stonehenge also, There's Libyan and Celtic ogham that is found on our site and some of these other New England sites. On the other side of the United States, we have some other lines that are drawn. And this one right here is where people think they came in from Asia across the Pacific in boats. So they were following the coast. They were coast they actually were coast huggers. And they made it into the New World that way. And of course, the original idea is that people came across this 1,000-mile stretch of land here, the Bering Strait, between maybe 12,000, 15,000 years ago. But now we think people were actually coming across possibly in boats along the coast. So these are some of the new ideas. And that's all we have for now. We'll talk to you again.